Welcome to Ellis Mowers and More. On today's video, we're going to look at Husqvarna LGT2654. This is basically the Husqvarna version of Craftsman GT5000. I have been procrastinating on this for probably 3 months or so. Do I tell the story? I guess so. So the guy bought a $400 Sabre mower from me, Sabre John Deere, with a mission to go out and start a lawn business with it. Well, that didn't really go very well because you're taking a 30-year-old residential mower and you're going to basically cut semi-commercially with it. So, long story short, didn't work out there. I got the mower back, resold it, like everything's fine. But then, like, wants to use this to do the same thing, and I'm like, okay. Also, it has come in and was taken to another place and basically took a lot of stuff off and didn't fix it. So here we are about, I don't know, 3 months after it came in, finally getting around to it, because this is probably going to be quite a bit of a project. Let's go ahead and get into the repair. Let's see what all we've got to do to this. I have no idea what needs to go on with this, and we're going to figure it all out together, I suppose. Well, so here's what we've got. The muffler's off of it. Do I have the engine cover? I don't have the engine cover. That's kind of weird. But I'll find one to put on it, I guess. Kind of looks like it. I don't know what all has been going on here. Looks like this cylinder head got put on it at some point because it's a totally different color than the rest of the machine. This cylinder head, who knows? Like I said, I don't have a clue so far. Partially taken apart, muffler's gone. Got some sort of butt connector splice right here, doing something. Fuel pump looks pretty old, and all of that good stuff. So, fuel lines look like they may have been replaced at some point, although maybe not very recently. I think we're going to have to do fuel lines and stuff. The biggest thing here on this is that the gas tank is not in good shape at all. It's got a bunch of cracking and leaking and stuff on it. And these gas tanks are discontinued. So one thing that I could do, and maybe this will work, is they still make the older style gas tanks for these frames that were like black plastic. They didn't come out right here. They came out more toward the back right here under the seats. So we may have to retrofit that in. But what I want to do first is put a battery in it. Check the oil. Oil is clean. So I want to put a battery in it. I might run just a gravity feed, strap a gas tank somewhere, run a gravity feed down to the carb to see if it'll run. And if it does, then that's good. We'll just go about replacing the whole fuel system. I actually stole a voltage regulator off of it earlier this year, so I got to put that back on. And we'll see what else it may need in order to get started. So I'll grab a battery. We're going to spray a little bit of carb spray in just to start and see if it'll kick off. And then I will get like a external fuel tank with a gravity feed set up. See if we can get it to run on its own before we do anything else. Alright, y'all, let's see if we have anything here. I put a battery in it, and we're going to push the brake down and crank it over. Hopefully crank it over. Let's see how many hours this thing's got on it. It's literally saying it's got 19 hours on it. That's kind of crazy if that's true. Could have been replaced, but let's see if it'll kick over. Okay. That's actually good. So let's see if we can hear Let's see if we got 2 cylinders running. If it'll fire. Crank. Come on. Okay. That's promising. It's very promising. So that's good. Choke. Which is the choke cable? This one right here. So I need to hook up the cables and stuff. So the choke cable goes right here. Throttle cable goes on the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and probably put the muffler back on it. Yeah, we'll do that. And we are full of oil, so that's good. And there should be a plate that goes on the bottom of this muffler as well. Yeah, here we are. Well, this goes on the top. This is that. Something like that. No. Something like that, ain't it? Yeah, like that. Like a little heat shield thing. And a couple other things. Do a little bit of assembly down there. Get the muffler back on, bolt it on. And well, we got all the bolts right here and this little cap thing, so that's good. And I would assume, is that bolt gonna, no, I think this bolt goes there, which I don't have 2 of them. So, at least I don't think I do. This is my favorite when things get taken apart and then get brought to me. Like, can you put it back together? It's like, sure. But, we'll throw this muffler back up here. And at least bolt it on with this one bolt for right now. And what I'm going to do is find me a gas tank. Get it higher than the mower here. Prop it up on something so that it trickles down into the carb. And we're going to see if it runs like that. The good news is it seems like everything is cranking like it's supposed to. I don't know. I couldn't tell if it's running on 1 or 2 cylinders. So we'll see. Choke cable, throttle cable, gas tank. And then we'll test it out, see if it'll stay running. So I just put a little external tank, little gravity feed down here. See if we can get anything going before we dive into it a little bit more. I actually put a lot of gas in here. But either way, I'm just curious. Before we get going, let me tighten this nut up here for the muffler. Get down here real quick. Alright, that's at least hold it in place right now. And wouldn't it be a wonder if after I don't know how many months this thing's been sitting out in my driveway, if this thing would just kick over. Nope. I'm wondering if, oh, we don't have the throttle hooked up. I want to see if this solenoid's working. Does not sound like it, so what I'm going to do is get rid of that solenoid. Alright. I'm just going to block this fuel line off and pull this up real quick. I also forgot to turn or put the throttle and stuff on too. So let me do that first. Let's do the throttle Doing things out of order here. Trying to go faster than I should be. Throttle cable, and then we'll probably pull this anti-backfire solenoid off as well, just to fully eliminate it. Also, there we go, the ground wire just broke off of it as also, so no big deal, I suppose, but 1/2 inch or a 12 millimeter usually gets these off. But let's see here. Nope. But I get all those buttoned up. Terrible. If y'all see that substance dripping down there, that is varnished fuel big time. And so what I did is, like I said, I didn't hear this getting, moved around, so I figured that there were some issues with that. And man, varnished fuel, definitely. So we're going to cut this off, but what I'm also going to do is get see if we could spray the varnish out of there. Don't really have a lot of faith that we will without getting this thing actually out to clean it, but hey, we can always try. We'll pull these 3 screws off the top here, pull that gasket up, and grab some carb spray. I'm going to spray it right in here into the bowl itself. We got a lot of, it's literally just brown coming out of here. So that's not good. It's just super, super brown and varnished. Then I'm going to come up top here and see if we have any action going through the holes. I doubt it, but we'll see. Actually, we do, which is good. So I do see gas going through the holes whenever I spray them into these 2 jets here. So we might actually get kind of lucky here. I'm not holding my breath though. I'm going to go grab me some cutters. And we'll cut this solenoid, anti-backfire solenoid, off wherever I put it. But that solenoid I pulled off, I have misplaced. So let me find it real quick. Alright, I found it. So we'll just pull this off. I don't think it's going to be too, because that's pretty varnished up. But I'll go ahead and I need to spray some carb spray on this. Wipe it off. That is a large amount of varnish right there. So just getting the varnish off of this, that way it doesn't try to make it, I guess, in the fuel system again. But this is like a long, not a Hail Mary long shot, but this is a, we're probably going to have to pull the carb off to clean it situation. But I figured, what's the hurt in trying this first? So we'll tighten this back up. Yeah, I know I'm using the pliers method or the vice grips method, but that's okay. Might wipe some of this off of the muffler so that we don't have any problems when we... It's just brown. So now, I need like a T20 bit. And we're going to put the choke and the throttle back on because it looks like it's going to run. So, man, who knows how long this thing has been sitting. So the choke, and double make sure that's that one. Which goes up top here. And will go like that. There we go. So pull that there, tighten her up. Right there, and we should have choke going back and forth now. Okay. And now, get the throttle going here. Get it in its little elbow there. And then we'll pull it all the way up, which it is right now. So you want to have it like that, and then pull it while we take this off. I believe this is right. If not, then it won't go down when I do this. But hey, let's try it. Alright. Okay. Throttle down. Yep. Throttle up. Okay. And we still got a little carb spray in it. So let's just see what it'll do when it kicks off here. Oh, yeah, let's just see real quick. Oh, yeah, let's get that out of here. And I'll go ahead and do this. It doesn't take anything to just pop this back off. Like I said, when I sprayed through the jets here, I could see it going into the intake, so that means that there's some level of uncloggedness, if that makes any sense. So let's see what it'll do here. Crank. Oh, it's definitely on one cylinder. At least right there. Got two plugs in here. Okay, that's alright. So, let me get this back out here. If we can get this to run on its own, I know one cylinder, woo, but hopefully it's just a push rod issue. It could be a cylinder head issue. We know how these Briggs V-twins like to pop the cylinder head. Cylinder heads, so valve guides, that's the word I was trying to find. So we're going to let that go down in there. I'll crank her up here, and we'll see what we have, if we have anything. did. I can see the spark. Woo! Wow. Smoke in the garage. Here, I can see the spark coming from the left cylinder. The right cylinder is not doing anything. Or, excuse me, the left cylinder is not doing anything. So, we'll get rid of them wires because they're not going to do anything here anymore. So like I said, we're getting spark. We're not getting fuel to that left cylinder. Whoa. I can see where the valve cover has been taken off of the left cylinder already. So something tells me that somebody's been in it. I'm going to get y'all a little bit of a closer look here after I get some of this stuff out of the way. Alright, so like I said, we've figured out that something's going on with this cylinder. Considering that the cylinder head has been changed out on the other side, makes me think that something's going on in here. So I'm going to pull this out and hope, well, whatever it is, as long as we don't have a bad cylinder piston, then we're going to be fine. But it appears that somebody has not done a valve adjustment very well. So that's good. Like, at all. Like, good at all. Do we have bent rods? No. Do we have a valve seat pushed out? Maybe. But what needs to be done here is this. What have we got here? So the intake is on the top on these, isn't it? Intake on the top here, so we've got that. It's going to go in a hole. Is the valve guide popped out? I can't tell just by looking at it, but what we can do is, let's see, get the intake valve back in the hole. If I can push this back, let's do this here. Let's do this first. I can push this back far enough without having to take it off. Maybe I can get. Nah, we're not going to be able to do that unless. Oh, maybe so. We're on the top part of that intake stroke. So let's see here. Okay, so I got it in there. Makes you wonder what happened here. Yeah. So we got that in. I'm going to get this 8mm here, 5/16. And I'm going to put this push rod back on and then just screw this back in here. So, exhaust push rod does not appear to be bent. It's just very interesting, we'll say that. Am I cleaning up somebody else's mess? I don't know. But I have a strong suspicion that I am. Nope. let's do this. So it goes like that, and then so let me get this push rod in. There we go. All right. So those are all in, and now it's just a matter of me adjusting the valves. I've done as many times. I'll keep it short. This is a T40. This is a 13 millimeter or 1/2. Make sure that the valve that you are going to adjust is closed. So typically you can just look at the other one, see if the other one's open. This one's closed, and we can adjust this one. Adjust it to somewhere between 3 thousandths and 7 thousandths. I try to go for 5. I feel if 5 is good, and it's 7 don't go in, then you're good. So I'm going to do that. Next, hopefully that gets us back to a 2-cylinder engine here. Alright y'all, I got the valves adjusted. Again, just make sure you have a feeler gauge, a T40 and a 13 millimeter. You loosen the 13 millimeter, tighten or loosen the T40, depending on if you need to tighten or loosen the valve, and put all that together. So, trial and error a lot. So, all right, let's get all this stuff out here of the way, and I need to hook up my gas tank. So give me just a second here, so I can get that hooked up, so that we can see if this thing will run on 2 cylinders. Alright, so I'll back y'all up just a little bit here. We got the gas tank set up. Let's see if we got 2 cylinders now. And if we do, then basically what we need to do next is just make sure that we have continuous fuel running to the rear tank and be able to replace that. So let's give her a whirl here. Looks like my garage is on fire. Let me show y'all. Whew. It's a little drizzly and rainy today, so kind of shoved in the garage, but oh my gosh. That's what happens when you run something on 1 cylinder for a while and it builds up all that gunk and stuff in the exhaust. Wow. Alright, so now we know it runs on 1 cylinder. I'm probably going to replace the entire fuel system, including the fuel tank on this. which I do have this black fuel tank here. If you can see it through the smoke right there. That comes on older style Craftsman garden tractors. So I'm going to see if I can just retrofit it since it is basically the same frame. Just the fenders are a little bit different. I'm going to have to let the smoke get out of here first though. And then we'll make sure that this thing will drive and all that good stuff. So hopefully just fuel system redo and fuel tank, and hopefully the deck situation is pretty good as well. I haven't checked the blades or anything like that, but I'll check them, find an engine cover for it, which I may do while this smoke is clearing out, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're going to take off this rear fender here. Might get you a little bit over here to do that. So in order to take it off, there are two bolts that go to this kick panel here, or the footwell, footrest, whatever you want to call it, on each side. And then you have two screws that go to the springs on the back of the mower here and allows it to hold everything down. So we've got that off. You do not have to take the seat off. Just be able to pull it off like this. You do have to take the hydro lever off, and then the oh, we got one more. I guess it's the reverse kickback or something on this thing, which oddly enough the switch does not reflect that it's got one. So let me take this off real quick. Come on now. There we go. So we'll get this out of the way. Right here, right now. And then here's our gas tank. This gas tank, again, is relatively large for what it is. And kind of thin. I think we can make this other gas tank work. Let's... we'll have to see. So that's where the gas tank bracket goes. And we can get the gas tank bracket off of this tank. Because this is going to be our biggest hang up right here, is the whole gas tank situation. And I'm trying to look at it, and I think, man, everything looks like it would work. Oh, we've got a 1/2 inch I got to get off on this side here for the bracket, but pull it off. We can if we cut that line. These lines are definitely due for replacement, so I'm just going to cut that line back there. And we'll replace all of these lines and the fuel pump and the fuel filter going up to the tank once we can figure this out. So transmission belt looks good, so that's a good thing. Oh, there are massive cracks in this tank. Wow. Alright, so there we are. Here's the tank. And we got this off now. Now, what I'm curious about is if I can retrofit this tank to where it will fit on this mower. And gosh, it looks like it will. I hope it will. That would make my day if it did. So what would this do? This would go in down like this. Does this bracket work? Oh man, if this works. Oh, I think we can make it work. can't. We're gonna be dang close there. Oh man. Ah, okay. I think if I take this bolt off right here, because that's where our hang up is, I may be able to fit that on there. That's gonna be cool if we can do this. And the good news is, if you want to do this, this is actually, you can still buy these tanks. You cannot buy the other ones. So, I think you can buy these for like $50 or something like that, which isn't that bad, all things considered. So, let me get off this piece here, and let's see if it'll fit. That's a 9/16, not a half. And then I'm going to have to cut a hole. Come on now. In the back of the fender here. That's the only thing we're going to have to do is cut a hole in the back of the fender, most likely, if this fits down here like I want it to. Okay, that's a good sign right there. And can we get it stuck in here? Oh wow. Okay. All right. So that's actually really, really good. That's really good. So what I actually need to do to this tank though is put a new tank grommet and shut off switch on the bottom down here, because these are plastic and they do break pretty easily. So we're going to swap that out. The tank itself is relatively clean inside. I'm going to mount this tank, go ahead and run all these fuel lines up, which basically they just kind of run along the frame back there. And just make sure they're not going to rub up against anything, and you'll be good. And fuel pump, fuel lines up to the tank, and we should be in good shape, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and go to town on that, show you what it looks like after I get it all done. And before I put the fender back on it. And then we'll figure out the fender situation. Once we get that figured out, then we will hopefully be in a good position to have this mower finished today. I've got to find an engine cover for it, but I've got plenty of them. And I thought this one had one, but I guess it never showed up with the parts stash that was given to me when this thing arrived. Alright, so we're going to test this out. Hopefully this is going to work. Like I said, these frames are the same as like the 90s Craftsman's. The rear fenders are just curved and a little bit different. So what I'm likely going to have to do is cut out an area right around here in order to make this work for the fender to fit. But that is probably all that I'm going to have to do in order to retrofit this. The brackets are basically all the same. It looks like this will rest right here. I put a little bit of weather stripping underneath the tank here just so it's not rubbing plastic on metal and rub a hole into this. Obviously this tank is a used tank. Put a tank grommet and shut off underneath here before I put it in. It is working, it is holding gas, it is pumping fuel up here. So that is a really good thing. And what we're going to do is take this and I'm going to try and start it up. Make sure it'll run. Need to pull this first though. I've done new lines and replaced the tank there, so that's good. Let's crank it up here. And then I got to put a voltage regulator on it. much varnish is in that car, but the fact that it runs that well is really, really good. So I'm happy with that. So my next steps are get this fender back on, figure out what I need to cut, where I need to cut it, and then find me a what is that? Engine cover somewhere. I've got plenty of them because I've had plenty of Briggs blown up before. That'll hopefully fit on this. I have this piece right here already, and I have the air filter cover, which will help me find the correct shroud to go on. I don't know where the shroud went unless I misplaced it, or it's either I misplaced it or somebody took it. So, or it got taken before it got here, if that makes sense. So let me show you what I end up having to do to this rear fender to make this tank work, and then we will go, and then I'll find a cover for this, and then we'll go through the whole process of seeing if this thing drives and all that good stuff. Hopefully the rain will subside a little bit so that I can get move some stuff around and pull this thing out of here. Now if y'all told me it was only going to take a couple hours to do this today, I would have probably, you know, not thought that you were being truthful. But we're back. Everything's back together. We've got the gas tank on. I'll show you that while we're here. And so it looks a little wonky with the new tank in it, but all I had to do, and I was generous with the hole, didn't have to go quite that big, but cut a hole out. The bracket fits right on it. It's great. And so you've got a hole here because the gas tank doesn't come out here anymore. But I mean, it works. Can't fault it for that. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you. Let's see what we got here. I'm pretty sure we got everything back on. I didn't have a voltage regulator, so I had to steal one off of another mower that I have for sale that's not making any ground. I only have one bolt for the bracket, but that battery should be fine. Oil is full, or in the range, so it looked like it had just been changed. So don't know exactly what was trying to be pulled over, because the other guy that had it said that he was probably going to have to put an engine on it, and it looks like he messed up some valves or something on it trying to fix it or get one over. I don't know, but either way, what I'm going to do is crank it. I've got enough room to where I can move it back and forth a little bit. Turn the blades on. I've actually turned the blades on already, and I know that they will engage, so that's good. Let me engage the transmission back here. Oh, we're already engaged. Perfect. So that's good. So let's crank it. Let's make sure it's charging. Make sure that it will drive, and make sure that the blades will cut on. We're going to be easy with the blades in the garage here. We'll see if we can get it out of the garage here in just a second. That's really good. I'm very happy about that. The dial on the ammeter shows that it's charging on the dash, and I haven't checked the condition of the blades. Oh, they're fine. I'll just have to sharpen them up, which is good. So I need to sharpen the blades, Make sure the deck is level, and not really much else left here. So that's really good. Really good, actually. I'm going to see if I can, if it's raining, let me see. Actually, looks like it's quit raining, so I'm going to try and reorganize a few things here in the garage and get this thing pulled out so that y'all can see it run, and hopefully it will run and do its thing. And then I'll just sharpen the blades and everything. I mean, we're basically done. I'm just going to blow it off. It's relatively clean as it is. The only things left I have left really to do are sharpen the blades, level the mowing deck, which you have levels on the side over there, and throw some ATF in 3 of the tires, and we're done. So if I can, I'll pull it out, and hopefully we'll have this video wrapped up, since I just have to do them small little things here very shortly. Alright y'all, everything's working, and I'll show you that before we wrap everything up. It's trying to rain again, so we'll make this quick, but ATF in the tires should keep everything inflated. There's no leaks. It's just barely surging at idle, but runs good at full throttle, and the blades are turning and they're sharpened and they do what they need to. So that's pretty good, all things considered. Testing tomorrow, but I mean, I think we got it all going, all good to go, so I'm very happy with that. Again, yes, I procrastinated on this for a few months for various reasons, mostly because whenever they come in pieces like this, I'm not very fond of really trying to put them back together during my busy season. So now that I got everything slowed down, I didn't know if this was going to take me an afternoon like it did today, or if it was going to take me like a good 2 to 3 solid days to sort everything out. Luckily, it only took us 3 hours maybe, so that's really good. I'm very happy with that. And this garden tractor, y'all know these garden tractors will run forever and ever and ever, and I know there's a little bit of steam coming up off of it right now, but that's mostly because of a lot of things haven't been turning in a while, especially that one cylinder that had the valves that were out on it, and the push rods that were out. So we got all that taken care of, and it should be good now. I'm going to give it a little bit better run tomorrow, but we're done with this, which I'm very happy about. Thank you all again very much for watching this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this Craftsman garden tractor disguised as a Husqvarna. Again, there's not much to these tractors to get them back going again, as long as they've been halfway decently taken care of, which this one apparently had been pulled apart for whatever reason. Who knows? But either way, we're good to go. We'll call the customer back up tomorrow, tell them to come get it so I can get paid, this thing can get out of here, and that's one less machine I've got to worry about around here. Thank y'all again very much, and I'll catch y'all on the next small engine repair.